Hello. Today I'd like to share some thoughts on enlightenment. Enlightenment is another one of those words that's bandied about by so many people under so many circumstances. And yet, what is enlightenment and how do we get there? It seems traditionalists have said that only the wisest of wizards and the greatest of gurus can be enlightened, and that us poor lowly humans, we can only seek enlightenment, not to be obtained unless we get to the purest of pure, sacred of sacred, holiest of holies. Well, you know what? I don't think so. Nope. I looked up enlightenment in the dictionary, and you know what it said? It said enlightenment is being enlightened. Whoa, isn't that helpful? Whee! But it did go on to say that enlightenment was a philosophical movement in the 17th and 18th century that emphasized the use of reason to probe previously held beliefs, doctrines, and traditions. Now, this brought about a lot of humanitarian reforms at that time. This philosophical movement were thinkers who consciously used logic, reason, and critique as a looking for human advancement. And this is at the same time when the only enlightened people were kings and the rulers and most powerful and the clergy, and certainly not lowly human beings. And yet at the same time, enlightenment had an Eastern philosophical bedrock. Because the East and West evolved differently, enlightenment was not a term that was used or thought of at those times. Because East has now met West, generally speaking, the word enlightenment has become part of our lexicon. It has been integrated and is broadly used. And yet its firm philosophical bedrock is in the Buddhist and Hindu philosophies. Now that's just a bit of background. And what I want to share here really is to simplify the concept so that we understand that evolving our consciousness, being aware, being conscious, staying in the present moment, being and feeling and expanding who we really are is an enlightened state of being. Being enlightened is truly what we can and are doing when we take the time to do serious soul searching, to go and do the deep inner work that brings us more and more knowledge about who we really are, and to explore our emotions that integrate all that we find. Like when we learn and understand that love is not an emotion or a thing, that it's a state of being, enlightenment is the same. It's a state of being. And with that understanding comes that the inner universe is as infinite as the outer universe. And that inner space and outer space are all part of all the one, part of that we space. And so what we want to do is we want to step into our enlightenment. We want to step into who we truly are, our immortal souls, our spirits, that expanded vastness that we really are. That's part of our enlightenment. So be enlightened. Allow yourself to know that you are enlightened on this path. And then be the lighthouse. The lighthouse is there, holding the space, knowing the storms are coming, knowing things are changing, knowing there's going to be heaviness, and yet it holds the place. It shines the light to bring others to shore. It shines the light to bring us to community. It shines the light to bring us to love. The lighthouse is stalwart in whatever is coming away. It doesn't care about the storm. It doesn't care about the heaviness. It only holds the light. It holds the space. That's part of being in an enlightened state of being. So be the lighthouse. Be enlightened. Touch that place within yourself. And open it. Open the light. Thanks for listening. Aho.